All right, welcome to Gogotalx, brought to you by GOGOTIX. I'm your host, Malachi Johns. We are going to be live today with Bam 640, who is having some technical difficulties getting started here, but I'm going to hop off for a second, help him get on, and we should be back in just a minute. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We'll be back in just a few. Okay, thank you everybody for sticking around and stuck around. Unfortunately, there's some significant technical issues going on Bam's side that he was not able to resolve. So we're gonna have to reschedule. In the meantime, because you're all here, if anybody has any questions that they want to ask me, I'm more than welcome to stick around for a few minutes and. Or more than happy to stick around for a few minutes and answer any questions. Doesn't matter what it's about. If not, then I'll just go ahead and wrap it up and we'll reschedule with Bam. So sorry about that. He tried on his phone, on a computer, and they're having all kinds of issues over there. So, but yeah, so I don't know. We still got Ricky and Gino and whoever's still on here. But if y'all have any questions for me, um, go ahead and ask them, and I'll stick around for a few minutes. All right, I guess nobody has any questions. So, all right, I'm gonna give it like one more minute, and I'm gonna go ahead and we'll get Bam on back on another time. But thanks everybody for sticking around for this long. I really appreciate it. And yeah, so okay, I see what's going on. Okay. Yeah, sorry about that, folks. This is the first time that's happened before. Well, no, I guess the second time. Wink had the problem with his too, but yeah. So we'll go ahead and reschedule. Bam. Next week we got my man Uno, Kevin Blackman Uno, songwriter of Chuck Baby and uh, co-writer and co-producer of the Rare Essence of Snoop Dogg song. Also a longtime go-go promoter. We're going to talk to him. And January, October 28th. We got my man off Mr. Off the Muscle himself, my man Dig Dug. Um, can I get an interview with Woody Wood? Yeah, I probably could do that. What's up, youngin? Brother-in-law. Oh God, Ricky. What would you like to know, Ricky? You would like to know what? Just roll. I would like to know. You would like to know what? Everything. What would you like to know, Ricky? I will stick around and answer whatever you would like to know if I can answer it. Um, who have I learned the most from while interviewing? I would have to say it wouldn't really be any one person. It was more. So I learned something that I really did not understand before I started these interviews. I used to get really frustrated with go-go bands. That thanks, Queenie, I appreciate it. The I used to get really frustrated with go-go bands that said they wanted to be on a bigger platform and wanted to do bigger things than just play locally. I used to get really upset why they thought that somebody was just gonna like some record company A&R was just gonna show up and magically sign them and whisk them away to success. And I never really understood that because I studied the music business. I've read probably every book there is to read in the music business. I've been, booking national acts since I was in college and I was 17 years old. I've been steeped in sort of the greater music industry outside of go-go for like my whole life, and read all the trade papers and subscribed to all the magazines and read all the books and talked to as many people as I could and went to all the events, and that almost never happens. But what I learned from interviewing Charles Stevenson and interviewing Wink was that in the case of two of the most popular bands in go-go, EU and Junkyard, that is sort of what happened. Like with EU, they got booked to, and shout out to my man Walker Reds, who just did a dope interview with Sugar Bear, and they got booked to play. Well, it was two different stories because Charles Stevenson told me on my interview that EU was booked to play by the 930 Club for Spike Lee's birthday party. Sugar Bear on his interview with Walker Red said that they were just playing, that they were playing there, I guess, and Spike Lee was there to promote She's Gotta Have It, which maybe both of those things are true at the same time. I guess that's possible. But And then Spike Lee said, I love you guys. I want you to be in my movie. And like Sugar Bear was saying in his interview the other day, like a week later, he was in New York, and 2 weeks later, it was a hit. And 2 weeks later after that, it was the video. And, so it was like this sort of magical, sort of like history, or I'm sorry, magical like series of events that happened for EU that is very uncommon in the music industry. But also with Junkyard, like this Wink was saying that they were playing outside on the corner on the buckets, and this guy kept coming down to the club across the street from where they were playing, and every week he would come down and he would check them out. And one week he brought Rick Rubin with him, and Rick Rubin was like, "This is the best shit I've ever heard. I want to bring you up to the studio and record you in New York." And Rick Rubin, one of the most legendary producers of all time, produced Sardines and The Word for Junkyard, and it all happened in a very short period of time. So what I learned the most from doing this interview series is that even though I know that in the course of the music industry and in the course of an average artist's life cycle, it's extremely rare for them to just be playing somewhere and somebody just whisks them away to this greater level of success. But two of the biggest bands in DC, which there aren't that many bands that have made it out of DC. So that's a large percentage of the bands that have made it on a greater level than just local success. That's what happened to them. So that's why that legend, and that's why I feel like that mentality is so pervasive in the go-go community, because, well, that's what happened to Junkyard in the EU. So why wouldn't I think that's what happens to everybody or to most people? And I get it now. You know what I mean? I didn't understand for many, many years why everybody thought that. So it wasn't like I wouldn't say there's any one person that I learned the most from, but that was one thing that really stuck out to me. That I learned from doing this series. So hopefully that answers your question. Cool, man. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you guys for sticking in for so long. I apologize that Bam wasn't able to get his stuff up and running. But we'll try to get back on with him at another time. If you haven't already, I started a new Facebook group called GoGo, the official music of Washington DC. I'm gonna pull it up. I think I can pull it up and share it on the screen. So if you haven't already, I would love for you to here we go. For you to go join this group right now. So if you can go join this group right now, it's GoGo, the official music of Washington DC. If you can go join that right now, I really would appreciate it. It's sort of a congregation. Like, you can promote shows in there and stuff if you want to. It's really, I try to keep it as much conversation, based as possible. I was waiting for you to throw something in there. Ricky is relentless promoter here. I got you, bro. Yeah. So tomorrow at noon, I think it's noon. Let me make sure I got the right time. I think it's noon my time. Tomorrow on GoGoTix. We are premiering, even though Ricky, typically when a website premieres your video, you don't like post all of these other places where you're premiering it too. You just post the website that's premiering it. Well, that's all right, man. I'm just messing with you. Yeah. So, oh no, it's noon your time. So I set it for 9:00 my time, noon your time. Tomorrow there will be the premiere of Atlanta's XO band, their single Two Shots, video single Two Shots, featuring Ricky Angles and the one and only Lizette TT, formerly of Backyard, Ricky Angles, formerly of Huckabucks, and I think one, if not the only person. No, I guess there's two. You're one of two or three people that has been interviewed on Gogotalx more than once. So yeah, go, man. So yeah, man. So make sure you check out Okay, old school queen. He says she's got a video coming out too for her song "God's Angel" on Sunday. So that's what's up. Yeah, this is what I like to see. This is what I had a call with the sort of committee for the GoGo Awards the other day, and everybody sort of mentioned how excited we are that GoGo bands are like taking this time during coronavirus to record and release music. So please keep it up. It is noticed. It is appreciated. I know sometimes it feels like you're just spending all this time and all this energy and all this money to put these things together, only to have them, not only to have nobody care, but just make sure you understand that that's not really the case. Like people are paying attention, and you may not get all the accolades, and you may not get all the, it's a process. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. That's why Nipsey Hussle called it the marathon. It's not like you just put out one song or one video and all of a sudden you just blow up. Like sometimes that may happen. And the same thing is like I was saying with the story earlier about, Junkyard and EU. Sometimes you might get lucky and lightning will strike. But generally speaking, the artists that are successful are ones that have just consistently and continually put out quality products, and over time it just starts to gain momentum. So old school Queenie, XO band, Ricky Angles, anybody else that's watching, that has a project that's going on, please don't be discouraged if you don't get a whole bunch of eyeballs on it the very first time you put something out. Just keep putting shit out, keep making shit. That's the name of the game. Just keep putting out content, and eventually it will snowball. I keep putting out quality content. Just make sure that you're putting out good stuff, because you can market and promote shit. And I know that there's like a myth in GoGo that you can just put out. It's not even just in GoGo, but that you can just put out whatever you want, and it doesn't matter if it's good or not, and as long as you market it enough, people will pay attention. And I just don't think that's the truth. Like, you got to put out dope shit that resonates with people, and then market and promote the shit out of it, and then that's what will happen. I think the reason people get confused about that is because they think they hear something that they may think is shit, and it gets marketed and promoted a lot, but they still think it's shit. So they think that because they think it's shit, that means that because it's only popular because it's getting marketed and promoted a lot. No, that just means that other people don't think it's shit. That means that this person, the person that's putting that out, you're probably not their target demographic. You know what I mean? Like, if you're 40 years old or whatever, and you're listening to the young mumble rap and stuff, and you think, oh, this is shit. The only reason that the mumble rap is popular is because they market it and promote it. No, the reason the mumble rap is popular is because other people that are not you like it, and lots of them, and it's marketed and promoted. So find your audience, find the people that like what you do, and make sure that you're providing them with the highest quality product that you possibly can, and market and promote it, and spend money. Don't be scared to spend money to market and promote it. Everybody in GoGo thinks that everything is supposed to be free except for their time. I want to be paid to show up and play. I play guitar. You got to pay me $150, $250 a night, but don't want to pay the sound man. Don't want to pay the flyer guy. Don't want to pay for any marketing. Don't want to pay the video guy. Don't want to pay anybody else, but they want to get paid. And that's a lot of the reason why GoGo is still where it is. So anyway, thank you all for sticking around again. Oh, wow, we got more people on now than when it was supposed to be on in the first place. So anyway, anybody that's new that joined, Bam was having some technical issues, so we weren't able to get him on today, but we're going to reschedule him. But if you have any questions for me, I was going to wrap it up, but I see we have more people on now than we did before. So if anybody else has any questions for me, just ask it in the chat, and I will, I can answer it, and I'll stay on for a few more minutes if people want me to. But if you don't have any more questions for me, then I'll, we can wrap it up, and then we'll reschedule for Bam. But next week got Uno, my man Uno from he's a probably the most. I would venture to say he's the most prolific songwriter in GoGo. There aren't that many songwriters per se that are in GoGo that aren't like part of the band or whatever. But he wrote Chuck Baby. He wrote Love, Chuck and Jill Scott. I think I'm saying that right. And he was the co-writer and co-producer on the Rare Essence and Snoop Dogg song. So we're going to talk to him about all of that. He also has an op-ed that he wrote on the website GOGOTIX.co, which you haven't been there already. Make sure you head over there now and check his article out called "Purity or Maturity," and basically his thesis on that is. Why are we so critical of of people of GoGo of things that are part of GoGo that may not seem like the straight up GoGo thing, like when he talks about when he wrote Sunshine for with Scooby, and how everybody was hating on it at first and now it's a classic, or he wrote Chuck Baby and people said it wasn't GoGo. So go over there and check that out. That's at gogotix.co on the front page. Again, if you haven't already, please join the GoGo, the official musical Washington D.C. group. You can promote your stuff in there. There's a lot of good conversation happening in there, as well as not a drama-filled group like some of the other groups. But yeah, so everybody, thanks for sticking around. And if next week you want to tune in for Uno, the week after that, I got my man Mr. Off the Muscle himself, Dig Dug, my good friend for many, many, many years. So I just appreciate everybody. Thank you so much for the support. And if you have any further questions, go ahead and ask them now. I'm gonna go ahead and jump off here, and we will end up seeing you next week. All right, thanks everybody. I appreciate all you guys that tune in every week too. It really means a lot to me. Thank you so much, and we'll see you guys next week with Kevin Uno Blackman. All right, have a good one.